I'm Jason. This is Rick.
This is the PCS Report.
Welcome back, everybody, to our second episode in our new series, the PCS Report, the show where we talk about stories that we found interesting throughout the week.
Yes.
How have you been doing this week, Rick?
Good, Jace. Fantastic, actually. It's been a great week. Been doing a lot, actually, with work and just catching up with a lot of TV shows and bits and pieces.
Yeah, me too, actually.
Which
I watched
is good.
Shot in the Dark. I finished that series, which we spoke about last week, which
Yeah.
was really great. I believe you finished off the
I finished off The Punisher, which we will talk about, definitely.
Yeah. Obviously, the Infinity War trailer came out.
Yeah.
There is so much to talk about, Rick. And there always is, isn't there?
So-
That's why I love being a fan about all pop culture, because there's always something happening.
There's always something
Now,
happening.
we may have had a good week, but as we'll talk about in today's show, there have been some out there that maybe haven't had a great
not
week.
had a good week at all. But let's start off with something a little bit closer to home here in Adelaide for myself and Jason. Adelaide will be losing one of our favourite pop culture conventions next year, and we are talking about Oz Comic Con. They'll be no longer held annually convention in Adelaide and Perth as of next year, which is a big loss, I guess, for us because we don't get much here. I mean, for the people who are familiar with South Australia and Adelaide, we don't get much here. And we're not like a big place where everyone's going to come with tourists.
Oh, we have a population of about 1 million people, so we're not huge. But it was fair to say that we actually had no Comic Cons whatsoever.
No, that's right.
And then we were lucky, we had two.
We had two. So back in 2012, they started Oz Comic Con here in Australia, and they're just saying it's just, I guess, attendance is down.
But it's not just here, they pulled it from.
Here. They pulled it from Adelaide and Perth, and Perth is a lot bigger than what Adelaide
and their
is.
demographic would be more attuned to that, because it's a younger demographic over there too.
What do you think it is? What is it?
Oh, mate, I'm going to put it down to the case that you have Supernova, you have Oz Comic Con. Mate, I think it's the people you're getting over here.
Yeah.
It's got to be, doesn't it?
I think it's the celebrities.
I mean, you just came back from Supernova.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know, you actually got to have a photo and greet the great man Stan Lee. So Supernova brings Stan Lee and the young girl from Millie Bobby Brown from Stranger Things. And honestly,
the crowd was huge.
I can't even tell you. And sorry, the crowd was huge.
But there you go.
But I can't tell you who came to Oz Comic Con.
No, I can't.
I pretty well think they were third-rate actors from Buffy and Firefly. Honestly.
And that's what the problem is. Who wants to go see those, like, the has-beens? No offence to them, but they're has-beens. They're gone.
You want to bring the big guns.
Yeah.
And you don't get any bigger gun than Stan Lee.
No, and he brought the crowd in. He brought a massive crowd in.
Well, I was going to say that, Rick. You were there. You got to experience it. I think you said to me the floor was jam-packed, wasn't it?
The floor was jam-packed on that side just to go line up to see Stan.
Yeah.
So if we had 2, 3... big celebrities, and I know it would cost them a lot of money to come over, and then obviously they come over, the bigger stars, it's going to increase the value of the tickets and everything else, and people, but
people will go.
People will go. I mean, if they have plenty of time to, I guess, save their money and know they're coming, then we shouldn't have that issue.
I mean, it's the same. Well, you knew about 3-4 months ago with Stan Lee, so you prepared for it.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what everyone would do.
Yeah, exactly.
So, look, honestly, it's sad to see Oz Comic Con go,
It is.
but Supernova's doing such a great job.
So hopefully Supernova doesn't fall into that trend as well, and we lose that.
I think so.
And if we lose that, then it'd be very disappointing.
No, I actually did some investigating after I heard that news, Rick, and Supernova's doing an amazing job. And they've got big plans coming up in the next couple of years. So
that'd be good.
I don't think they're going to go anywhere.
Excellent. There you go, guys.
There you go. Well, what I want to talk about, Rick, is a great show that I don't know if I talked about on our old show, and that was, I think I did actually, Mindhunters.
Yes.
A Netflix streaming show which is basically made by David Fincher and Charlize Theron and that. And it's basically about cops who go and interview serial killers to help them stop other serial killers.
Great show.
So it's a really, really well done show. Fantastic show. Great reviews from the critics, and I certainly loved it. And the good news is that now it's going to expand to a second season.
Wow. Awesome.
So I really wanted to tell this story for two reasons. One is, if you haven't seen Mindhunters, I so recommend watching this. If you like good crime, serial killer kind of investigation show, and my fucking wife loves this stuff. She eats it up. And she was the one who brought it to my attention. So the long-suffering Megan. And, it was absolutely wonderful show. So I can't wait to see
they're not based on any serial killers in real life, or sort of.
It is kind of, they take elements of real life and they adapt to the story. Yeah. But I mean, it's look, I've seen a lot of these shows over the years and movies with this type of concept. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't work.
Yeah.
But this one had a really, I don't know, it was the pacing and the tone of the show just kept you in. Great acting, great performances, really fucked up stories too.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Which is really great too. And the show gets really sucked in. Some of the interviews they did with the serial killers and that. Oh my God, it scared the crap out of me. But it was great. So check this out, guys. Netflix, Mindhunters is out now. It's a limited series.
Season 2?
Well, I believe you're probably looking late 2018, early 2019.
Beautiful.
So
good to see.
Great stuff.
All right, now big news. It just seems like every day someone has come out on this list of dirty birds, and the big dirty bird that came out this week is Matt Lauer.
Matt Lauer.
Matt Lauer.
Like, I think most people would know who Matt Lauer is just because of Good Morning America.
He's
the Today Show.
The Today Show, yeah. So NBC have fired Matt Lauer for allegations of sexual misconduct. And the stuff that has come out since he's being fired is unbelievable.
Yeah.
He is just fucked up. And thinking this person, like, you see him on the show and you think, oh no, he wouldn't be that type of person. He had a button under his desk that he could lock the door and open it from the button, and then he would do certain things to the female clients that he's got in his
what is a
office.
Weird celebrity, Rick? They just can't keep their dick in their pants.
And then he sent a sex toy to one of his work colleagues as a gift with a list of what he wanted to do with that sexual toy with that person. They were saying Matt used to walk around in his office naked. Huge things. There's a lot of things that are coming out. It just baffles me.
This is beyond the, unwanted, any sexual unwanted behaviour is unacceptable. We all agree with it. But what I'm saying, in the wave gauge, most sexual harassment that you would hear about, right, from the normal working person would be someone's grabbed them from behind, they've made an inappropriate comment, and it's always that incident is dealt with 9 times out of 10 very swiftly. Hopefully because women are empowered to say something and we act on it. It's obviously based upon that. But these guys...
They're taking it to the next level.
And they keep doing it for years, you're finding out. This isn't like he did it last week.
No, this has been going on for...
This has been happening forever.
And he's like one of the highest paid TV, hosts.
He represents ethical, moral expectations of Americans. Like, he's supposed to represent what's good in an American human being. Because that's his job by being a host. He has to behave and be someone that you look at, and that when he tells you something, you can trust him.
Now, who's going to hire him now?
Oh, no one. They're done.
He's done. He's gone. He was on $35 million a year, whatever it was, and now it's nothing. Gone.
It's done.
So, hopefully we don't see any more people come out on the list. We did see someone here in Australia.
Jeffrey Rush, and everyone knows Jeffrey Rush out there, but, he's another one.
Wow.
So... The problem is, Rick, is there's too many people that I admire and respect that's going down.
Yeah.
It breaks my heart because I will never watch another Kevin Spacey film. I won't see him in one, obviously, but I won't watch his old ones. Jeffrey Rush, if I find out I won't watch his stuff. And so it's just really disappointing that... I'm really happy it's coming out. I'm not disappointed. I'm angry now at these... absolute animals that are doing this stuff.
And, Don Burke as well. That was...
John Burke!
For those who
That's
don't know.
a whole separate story, guys. We'll be doing a full comprehensive story on Don Burke. I mean, if you want to talk at levels of fucked up behaviour, he's currently sitting on top of the tree.
And if you're not from Australia, just Google Don Burke and then you'll know who we're talking about.
Did you see that video with the chick that was...
We'll
talk about it more next week, all right?
There we go.
Let's move on to something a bit more positive, a bit more movie focused. No, seriously, we're going to do a story on that next week, guys. All right. Now let's go back into the fantasy realm in the movies. All right.
Yes.
Let's talk about big properties that Hollywood's been making big properties now for over a decade. We've seen anything that's toy related or comic book related be brought to the big screen. But there is one movie that they've been trying to reboot, and they actually haven't got it off the ground. Now, there was an original made back in 1987. I'm talking Masters of the Universe with Dolph Lundgren.
Dolph Lundgren.
All right?
Classic.
Frank Langella playing Skeletor. Well, for many, many years, it's been in development to re-bring Masters of the Universe back. And even the Weinsteins, talking about the story before, were trying to develop it in the early 2000s. Now, David S. Goyer has been signed on to helm Masters of the Universe for the big screen. Now, if you don't know who David S. Goyer is, you should, because he's been a pretty important writer in the last 15 years. He's responsible for helping write The Dark Knight, Man of Steel. He was responsible for writing the first 2 Blade movies and directed the third Blade movie. He wrote Ghost Rider, Dark City. This guy is influential in Hollywood and really loves comic book fantasy realm stuff. So to give him this material, I think is a good idea. And then what can you do with the Master of the Universe? Because everybody thinks Master of the Universe thinks of this buffed up
He-Man.
He-Man with the bob blonde hair. Well, obviously you would have to change that a little bit. But, they've been saying this could be a mix between Lord of the Rings and Star Wars. Now, that's some pretty big things to say, but I understand what the kind of vibe they're going for. So I'll be very interested to see what they do with a Master of the Universe movie.
Yeah, and who they cast.
I mean, straight away, you've got... Yeah, look, I have no idea. Who do you cast?
Who do you cast?
I would go with unknowns, honestly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And maybe have somebody famous as the villain, but and they're going to be in makeup or CG anyway, so... Yeah, but in this day and age with technology, you could probably do some really cool things with it.
Yeah, it's a good opportunity, so hopefully they...
And I've got a soft spot for it, mate, because I had all this stuff as a kid. Yeah. I had Castle Grayskull and He-Man
you had all the little figurines and
Battle Cat and all that stuff, So, awesome stuff, Rick.
Awesome. All right, moving on to something I watched on Netflix. I think it was last year, I watched the first season. I was waiting for the second season to come out. I'm talking about Frontier. Now, I don't know if you guys are too familiar with Frontier. It stars as Jason Momoa, and it's based in the 18th century with the fur trade in North America.
I have not seen it.
Yeah, it's not everyone's cup of tea. I think Jason's character is really, really good, and he's just really good in this series. It is a bit of a graphic series. It is a little bit violent as well, so it's not for everyone. But if you're into that sort of 18th century type shows, it's definitely worth a watch. So the second series is definitely out on Netflix at the moment. So I think there's 10 in the series. So yeah.
Well, Rick, just like last week, you've given me another show I've got to sit down and watch.
Yeah. Well, that's what it's all about.
You're costing me all my time, mate.
We like to go out and binging. So there you go, guys.
All right, now this week was probably the release of the biggest trailer. In the last couple of years, at least. I'd say the last biggest trailer would have been the original Star Wars The Force Awakens trailer. I'm talking about Avengers Infinity War, the much anticipated movie and much anticipated trailer. We arrived a couple of days ago. Within 24 hours, 230 million people watched that trailer. In 24 hours.
In 24 hours.
And that's a world record. No other film has done that. So,
and that's just the trailer. Can you
yeah,
imagine when the movie comes out?
Yeah, that's just to see what it is. And we've done a trailer reaction. I really love you guys to check it out, because it is... We were, as you can see in the reaction, we were blown away, just like everyone. I mean, it's... I've actually watched that trailer probably about 20 times now. Yeah. And I'm trying to break down all... There's so much information that they've thrown in there. So, look, it's we don't have to tell you. Because you would have watched the trailer. If you haven't, check it out. This film looks just... a step above than anything that's ever been made.
It will be the biggest movie of all next year, definitely.
Yeah, I don't think there'll ever be a film with as big, epic, event film. And I mean, you're talking to a Star Wars fanatic. I'm telling you, Infinity War is bigger than any Star Wars film coming.
Wow.
And that's a huge call.
That's a huge call for you, Jace.
Absolutely.
So, looking forward to that when that comes out.
Absolutely.
And just moving on, still continuing on with the whole... Infinity War's trailer, obviously it was released and social media goes mental.
Yeah.
So everyone is flying their comments out there, like saying, "Oh, it was a fantastic trailer." Some people didn't like it. Some people everything. Some of the fans are comparing Thanos.
Oh, Thanos! He looked fucking great,
the
didn't
villain. He's just amazing. To Stone Cold Steve Austin, the wrestler. I don't know where this came from.
We got a picture right there of it, right?
So we're going to show you. We're going to compare the two to show
Look at him. You can see him right now. That's hilarious.
So I don't know if it's the bald head or what it is, but yeah. So
you know what? It's my favourite thing of the internet is when things come out, memes come out straight away.
Yeah,
memes
yeah, straight away.
Gift to humanity in the last 10 years.
So unless we see, Stone Cold do a stunner on Thanos in, on Iron Man, so it's not going to happen. So, but yeah, check it out because I just can't see the resemblance to me. But there you go. I love it.
I saw a picture on Thanos, right? And they had a still image of Thanos, and then they had a still image of Steppenwolf, and people were saying they look exactly the same. No, but here's the difference. No, it's all about motion. Like, you can have a still image, and Steppenwolf did look as good as Thanos. But the problem was, as soon as Steppenwolf started to move and talk, it looked terrible. But when the trailer, when you saw Thanos move and talk, it looked fantastic. Amazing. Looked really, really good. They've just done an amazing job on that. You know what I also love about Thanos is the voice they've given him, Josh Brolin. It was really deep, intimidating voice. And
that's credit to Marvel again. They just nail the people who
are so ahead of the game, mate.
They are.
Do you know Kevin Feige came out this week and said they've got 20 films laid out for after Avengers 4. They are so ahead of the game here.
So
we are so lucky.
We are. So can't wait for it next year.
There's been a property out there that hasn't been as lucky as Marvel, and that is, Rick, is Jack Ryan. Now, Jack Ryan, for some of you older viewers, Hunt for Red October.
Yeah.
Right? He's Tom Clancy's a famous author who writes military-style conspiracy, espionage type of books. And he's had a main character called Jack Ryan. Now, they've tried to get a Jack Ryan franchise up and going in Hollywood for a long time. We had Alec Baldwin play him in Hunt for Red October. We had Patriot Games and Clear and Present Danger, which had Harrison Ford. They then did The Sum of All Fears with Ben Affleck. And then they went and did Jack Ryan... Shadow Recruit
with Chris Pine.
Yeah. So there's that's there's 4 guys. Now we've got our 5th iteration that's coming, but here's the kicker, Rick.
Here we go.
It's coming straight to Amazon, so it's going to streaming. It is actually going to be a series, a 13-episode series.
Nice.
Now they've cast John Krasinski. Now those who may know him or not know him, he was in a film called 13 Hours, but he's pretty well known as being Jim from The Office.
Yeah.
So everyone knows him from that. So after seeing him 13 Hours, I can see how he could pull off this role. Okay. Because he can play the action role quite well. So I'm actually really hopeful for this because I think this content, and you've got to remember, Tom Clancy's put out like 20-something plus books on that, and so there's a lot of material to be mined. I think it's probably going to be better.
I like it, the fact they're going that way. They're going to Amazon and releasing it as TV
as a long form series. I think that's the way to do it now. Yeah. Because you can get way deeper into the characters, and stories don't just have to happen in a 2-hour time slot.
That's right.
That whole story can go over a few episodes or the entire season if they need be. So I'm actually, for the first time in close to 20 years of knowing about Jack Ryan, I'm actually excited at the concept of bringing something like that to streaming.
So streaming next year?
They're streaming in 2018 on Amazon Prime. Now, Amazon Prime, guys, we are just getting Amazon here in Australia now. Yeah. Keep your eyes out, because Amazon Prime is available here, but in the next few months, you're going to find a lot easier access to get to these apps.
Yeah.
So they're getting Amazon Prime is probably going to be... It's number 2 in the world. It is in the way of streaming services. Netflix, and then there's Amazon in America.
Yeah, Amazon is starting to get some good shows.
They're shows. They are spending billions.
Yeah.
Billions.
It should be interesting to see.
So that's going to be really good. So we've got some really good stuff coming up. 2018 is promising to be an unbelievable year for us, Rick.
It is.
Not only from film, but for television and everything else that is happening out there. And that's been what we really found interesting this week. I mean, I don't really want to spend the next 7 hours talking about the perv that is Don Burke. But we'll do a story on that next week. So in the meantime, do some research on that weirdo because he's definitely worth checking out. We would love you guys to get more involved with this. We want to talk to you. We'll talk about the stories that we spoke about. And you can make suggestions and things that you want us to talk about. And how do they do that,
guys? All you need to do is just give us a comment down below. Give us a like for the video. Also hit that subscribe button for us. We really appreciate it. And just follow us all on our social sites as well. Easy and simple as that.
Absolutely, guys. And so until next week, we'll see you then.
See ya.